Maung Sway Yee, a hunter named Prandang, who used to be a teenager, would often go bird hunting and forest trekking, following the wisdom of forest elders. But then, there was one incident that became a turning point, transforming the young Prandang into the seasoned Prandang, skilled in forest matters and the village's resident hunter. At that time, a strange phenomenon occurred in the village. Villagers started to die one after another without any known cause. The symptoms of death resembled those of being possessed by spirits. Not long after, a spirit from the Myanmar side appeared, volunteering to deal with whatever was killing people in the village. That thing was called a pi pa, or forest ghost. Back then, no one in the village knew what a forest ghost was or how to deal with it. The villagers simply referred to this outsider as Uncle Maung. Prandang, having undergone training and seen a forest expert, became intrigued and asked to accompany Uncle Maung into the forest to learn how to deal with the evil spirit. Uncle Maung said to Prandang, "I'll take you to see something. If you don't believe forest ghosts are real, I'll show you something." What Uncle Maung spoke of was bringing a freshly deceased corpse, tying the legs with rope, and hanging the body upside down from a high tree branch, waiting for darkness to fall. Then, the method of proving something began. "What you're seeing with your own eyes is not dead. The forest ghost still resides in the body," said Uncle Maung. Then he had Prandang fire a gun at the hanging body. Shortly afterwards, a loud, eerie laugh echoed through the forest. The corpse still hanging upside down twitched. As it twitched and laughed, it spat the bullet out of its mouth. This was Prandang's first horrifying experience. "So how do we deal with it, Uncle Maung?" Prandang asked with a trembling voice. Without waiting for more questions, Uncle Maung quickly climbed the tree branch, chanted an incantation over the gun, and shot directly at the corpse possessed by the forest ghost. A loud bang was followed by a terrifying scream in the dark. Then the ghost fled into the deep forest. That incident led Prandang to become Uncle Maung's disciple, learning his skills and mystical arts. As time passed, Prandang became the experienced village hunter he is today. Later, when Prandang reached adulthood, one day the villagers came to him asking him to guide 4 government officers into the forest. These officials were named Mr. 1, Mr. 2, Mr. 3, and Mr. 4.
Prandang asked, "Where are you planning to go?" "We want to go to this location. Please take us there," said one of them, handing over a map and pointing to a spot. Seeing the location, Prandang gasped inwardly. "That spot is way deeper than anywhere I've ever been before, at least twice as deep." Prandang wasn't keen on accepting the job, but seeing that they were government officers, he dared not refuse. Preparations and the forest opening ritual began. He laid down one strict rule. Under no circumstances is anyone allowed to kill wild animals. That was the hunter's sacred rule. No actions outside the ritual were permitted, as the journey was for travel only. But these city men had no respect for forest rules. During the journey, Mr. 3 and Mr. 4 asked to go relieve themselves, but returned with the severed head of a large cobra. "This is serious," said Prandang. "Looks like we've got dinner tonight," one of the violators shouted cheerfully. "Absolutely not! You cannot eat that," said Prandang firmly. He then performed a ritual to apologize to the forest and led the group onward cautiously. He warned again, "The deeper we go, the more dangerous it gets. If anyone kills another animal, I won't go any further." Before long, they heard Mr. 4 scream. Turning to look, they saw the tail of a giant snake slithering away. Mr. 4 had been bitten, and the cobra they had brought had mysteriously vanished. Everyone was shocked but didn't know what to do. In the confusion, Mr. 1, the leader, coldly said, "Leave the body, we continue." Prandang was baffled. Their friend was dying, and they showed no concern, not even to bury him. Reaching another point, Prandang saw the 3 remaining men cutting paths at marked spots. As night fell, he heard Mr. 3 talking to someone. "Who are you talking to?" he called out. "Hey, Pran, Mr. 4 only fainted. He's not dead. He followed us. There, can't you see him?" Prandang quickly warned, "Don't go down there. Absolutely do not go down." Mr. 4 was seen wandering below. Come morning, Mr. 4 had vanished. Everyone was confused. Where did he go? Mr. 1 remained determined and insisted on continuing. They had now gone beyond the deepest point Prandang had ever ventured, possibly into Myanmar territory. They continued until they came upon a small village with only 5 or 6 houses and an ancient pagoda. Prandang thought, "A village this deep? If I'd known, I'd come explore ages ago." Just then, Mr. 1 shouted, "Everyone, get ready!" Prandang turned and was stunned to see the 3 men unpacking weapons from their bags. Is this really necessary? He wondered. He kept quiet, knowing his hunting rifle was no match for their modern weapons and numbers. As dusk settled, the group rested not far from the village. They saw floating lights nearby. Prandang warned, "It's dark now. Be cautious, and if you see anything, don't speak to it." But before long, a mist formed into a Burmese woman. In the dim light, they saw Tanaka powder smeared on both her cheeks. Her skin glowed under the bright moonlight. Mr. 3 shouted something in Burmese.
Prandang immediately knew she's not human. Looking closely, the woman wore a traditional Burmese dancer's mask, Maung Sway Yee. Then a shrill, piercing singing began, accompanied by traditional drums and instruments echoing from the village. "What's that sound?" Mr. 3 exclaimed. Suddenly, Mr. 3 leapt up and started dancing Maung Sway Yee's routine to the beat. As he danced, he let out an unearthly shriek. Prandang watched in horror. Mr. 3 removed his shirt, wrapped cloth around his head and waist, and danced wildly, his body bending unnaturally. Prandang was sure there was no way Mr. 3 knew that dance or song. Soon Mr. 3 fell from a high tree branch. Everyone screamed in panic. As they tried to help, Prandang shouted, "Don't go down. If anyone does, we'll have more than one corpse tonight." The terrifying night passed. At dawn, they checked on Mr. 3. He was dead, neck twisted completely around. Before anyone could reflect, Mr. 1 said, "Let's go. Leave his body." Mr. 1, Mr. 2, and Prandang packed up and moved on. Prandang thought, "This is beyond the line, and the path is deeper than I imagined." The 2 men seemed to be searching for a clearing in the forest, a rare thing, but eventually they found one. As they approached it, they encountered a heavily armed group. The 3 travelers were no match, either in weapons or numbers. Prandang advised them to hide and observe, but before he could say more, one of the men blew a whistle. Prandang was stunned. "Why reveal your position? Don't you fear death?" But the outcome surprised him. The armed group turned toward the sound, lowered their weapons, and welcomed Mr. 1, who seemed to be their leader. They handed him a large bag. Prandang thought, "I don't need to ask. That bag must contain illegal items."
He now realized he wasn't traveling with government officials, and the contents of the bag were something he shouldn't be involved in, but he had no choice. What can a hunter's rifle do against military-grade weapons? When Mr. One returned, the group dispersed. He said to Prandang, "You think you're clever. You don't have any bulletproof spells, do you?" Prandang couldn't speak. "Even if you had spells, I'm guessing you don't have a wife and kids. Lead us back and you'll be rewarded." Fear of death outweighed all. Prandang was forced to guide them back using the marked trail. They returned to the village from earlier, but to everyone's shock, there was no trace of it. No houses, no signs of demolition, only the ancient pagoda covered in tree roots. "This is the right path," Prandang assured them. He sensed something ominous in this area. "There's only us now. From here on, please follow everything I say. If you want to get out alive, don't talk to anything you see. Stay in the tree stands. Do not climb down." As night approached, they built their usual tree stand near the pagoda. Then came the eerie sounds again, drums and haunting voices. From the pagoda emerged the dancing spirit, Maung Sway Yee, twisting and contorting around the tree. Her shrill cries and rhythmic drums echoed relentlessly. All three were terrified. Prandang chanted every spell he knew, but nothing worked. The spirit danced below, unbothered. With no other options, Prandang pulled out his prayer beads and whispered, "Please keep us safe, at least tonight." He hoped to reach the old cliff-top hut where Master Maung once cast strong protection spells. Suddenly, Mr. Two started convulsing and screaming. "Dang, help my brother!" Mr. One cried. The Maung Sway Yee spirit below shrieked in Burmese. Only Prandang understood. "He belongs to me." Then, everything fell silent. Mr. Two kept convulsing. Mr. One sobbed while holding his brother tightly. The next morning, they continued. Mr. Two was still seizing. They aimed for the cliff hut, but because they had to carry someone, the journey was slow. That night, they had to build a temporary tree stand to survive. During the trip, Prandang asked, "What's in the bag?" "Why the hell do you want to know? Want to end up as a forest ghost?" Mr. One threatened. Both sides were tense. Mr. One wouldn't reveal it, but Prandang had to know. If he left the forest unaware, it could be dangerous. Suddenly, Mr. Two screamed. Mr. One's expression changed. His eyes rolled. He pulled a rope from his belt and started strangling his brother. Prandang tried to intervene. They struggled atop the tree stand, but he could see that this was no longer Mr. One. His eyes were no longer human. He was killing his own brother, whom he'd tried so hard to save. As Prandang wrestled with him, Mr. One hissed in Burmese, "Do you want to become a forest ghost?" No, I don't!" Prandang raised his hands in surrender and bowed in fear. Mr. One regained consciousness. Realizing what he'd done, he let go, but it was too late. Mr. Two was dead, tongue protruding in agony. Mr. One collapsed in madness, holding his brother's corpse and weeping uncontrollably. Prandang could only mourn their fate, but he hadn't forgotten his question. So what's in the bag? As he expected, it was a huge stash of illegal goods. He buried the bag and marked the spot. Then he carried Mr. One, now insane, out of the forest. Upon reaching the village, Prandang confronted the village headman who had sent him on this journey. He then contacted the authorities, handed over Mr. One, showed them where the bodies were, and led them to the buried bag. After that event, Prandang never accepted such a job again.